by special request, going over the practice test video. Maybe I'll add in some great music along the way. Stay tuned. First one, find the surface area of the rectangular prism. First thing I'm going to do is write down my formula, which I should be using. Now that I know the formula, I'm going to plug in the stuff that's represented. 2 times the area of my base. The area of my base would be 19 times 6. Plus my perimeter. My perimeter is going to be 50. Whoops. 50 and my height is 2. So I plug that all into my calculator. I get 328. Next, Allison is planning on covering a lateral surface area. First, when I'm reading this question, I'm going to highlight this lateral surface area of a large cylindrical garbage can with decorative fabric, because who doesn't want to decorate their garbage can for a theme party? Diameter is 3 feet, height is 3.5. So how much fabric does she need? Now, it's just a lateral area. So first thing I'm going to do is write down what formula I'm going to be using of a cylinder. Lateral cylinder is my circumference times my height. Now, I'm given the diameter. So that could also be the same thing as this, because that circumference can either be 2r pi or diameter pi. So my numbers here is my diameter times pi times 3.5, which is the height. You want to make sure that you have the same units, because if you don't have the same units, you're not going to get the right answer. And I want you to get the right answer. Call darn it. So she would need about 33 feet squared. Find the surface area. So again, first thing I'm going to do, write down what my surface area formula is. Surface area of a prism is 2b plus the perimeter times my height. Now, one thing about this picture, I don't have that. I need that. Here's a 90 degrees. That means this is 90 degrees. So I have to first figure out what this length is. I'm going to label it x. 2 squared plus 1 squared is equal to x squared. So this would be 5 is equal to x squared. I have to take the square root of 5, and I get x is equal to 2.24. So now I have 2 times the area of my base. My base is 1/2 times length times height plus my perimeter. 2 plus 1 plus 2.2, 5.2 times my height is 17. So that's all great work. 2 plus 5.2 times 17. 90.4 meters squared area, meters squared. Find the surface area. Again, it's a cone, so first thing I'm going to do is write down my formula. Surface area is the area of the base plus my radius times my slant height times pi. So my area of my base, let's see, everything's given to me, so I don't have to find any extra stuff. Area of base is radius squared pi. That's a 2. Plus radius times my slant height times pi. Now we get to my surface area. Just looking for my surface area is 1,244.1 feet squared. Bingo, bada boom. Surface area of a pyramid. Same thing as before. Surface area. Area of the base, but now it's a pyramid, not a cone. So it would be 1/2 times my perimeter times my slant height. I notice here I do not have my slant height. Golly gee. Here's my right angle. So my height is 35. So I'm actually going to go move this over a little bit. Figure this out first. My height is 35, so 35 squared plus, this is always half your side length. So this would be 17. Plus 17 squared is equal to my lateral area squared. So I'm taking the square root of whatever 35 squared plus 17 squared is, and that will give me my lateral area, which is, I'm going to round that to 39. It's 38.9. So I'm going to round it to 39. So my lateral area is 39. Now I can write down my surface area. So I have 34 times 34. That's the area of my base, plus 1/2 times 34 plus 34 plus 34 plus 34, 136 times my slant height, which we said was 39, 3,808. Well, looking at this, I don't have 3,808. However, I do have a 3,002, and that is just fine by me. Since I rounded to 39, that's probably the reason why. Find the surface area. So again, I'm going to first write down what am I actually looking for. So I'm looking for this. I have my base, what it's sitting on. Now I'm also going to add the lateral area of my prism. When I'm looking at this right here is the lateral area of my prism. So that would be my perimeter times my height. That's the lateral area. Plus, I also need my lateral area, whoopsies, I meant to do this, my lateral area of my pyramid. The lateral area of my pyramid is 1/2 times my perimeter times my slant height. So now I'm going to plug everything in. My base is 4.5 times 4.5 plus my perimeter is 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5. You get it, 18 times the height of that prism is 6 plus 1/2. My perimeter is still going to be the same, so that's 18 times my slant height, which is given 3.3. Now once I have that, I can type that into this handy dandy calculator that I have going right here. And I get 1,508. Why did I round to 8? Because it says round to the nearest whole number. And that would be feet, surface area, squared. Sand can be purchased by cubic foot. And my box is 10 feet, 15 feet, 3 inches. I'm going to change this to feet. If the sand costs $3 per square or cubic foot, so I have to first figure out what the volume is of this sand. So it would be base times width times height. My volume is 37.5. And some of you might circle 37.5, but that's not my answer. Because it says per cubic foot, it costs $3. That means every 1 cubic foot costs $3. So I have 37.5 cubic feet, so I have to multiply that by 3. So I get B. Find the volume. So first I'm going to write down my volume is my base times my height. My height here is 6, my radius is 3, so that's radius squared pi times 6. So 9 times pi times 6 gives me 116. Oh, I don't have pi in my answer, or I have to divide by pi. 54. 54. So if you just multiply this times this, you get your answer in pi units. Find the volume. So again, I'm going to first think about what's my equation I'm using. So I have volume. My volume of my prism is the area of the base times height, plus the volume of my cylinder. First, when I look at this, I have half of my cylinder, and that volume of a cylinder is the area of the base, which is radius squared pi, times my height. So I'm plugging this all in. The area of my base is 11 times 6. The height is 12 for my prism when I'm looking at it, plus 1/2 times my radius. This right here would be 17 minus 11, so my radius here is 6 squared pi. My height is this length, which is the same as this length, which is the same as this length. My height for my cylinder would be 6. And my answer, nearest whole number, 1,131 inches cubed. So this one's a little bit more tricky. So it's saying that what's the maximum volume of a pyramid that can fit inside a cube. So first I have to try to draw a picture. So say you have a cube. Here's my cube. That's how I draw my cubes. And saying the cube has lengths 18, 18, 18. It's asking for what's the volume of the pyramid. So here's my pyramid inside my cube. I actually just need this. I don't want everything else. However, the fact that it's inside the cube and you know every side is 18, that's going to actually help us. That means this length, the height from the top, is also 18, because that's the same as this length. The base is 18 by 18. So my volume of a pyramid, because it's asking volume of a pyramid, 1/3 times base times height. So it'll be 1/3 times 18 squared, that's the area of this the square it's sitting on, times your height of 18. So I could actually do 18 raised to the third power divided by 3. That will give me the same answer. 1,904. Question 11. So volume. First write down your formula. Volume is 1/3 times the base times the height. This is my height. I don't have my height. I need to figure out my height. So my height squared plus 3 squared is equal to my slant height squared. So I'm going to figure out what h is equal to. So I'm taking the square root of 17 squared minus 3 squared. If I take the square root of that, I get h is equal to 16.73. 16.73. So I have 1/3 times the area of my base, which is 3 squared pi, the area of a circle, times 16.73. If I plug that all into my calculator, 3 squared times pi times 16.73, divide by 3, get 157. D. Find the volume. So again, write down your formula first. This is a composite figure. So my volume is my cylinder, so that would be my base times height, knowing that this right here is my height for this right here, plus the volume of my other one is 1/3 times my base times height, which this height would be this height. So my base here is 4 squared pi times the height of the cylinder is 8 plus 1/3. My base here is still 4 squared pi, but this height of the cone is 6. It's rounded to the nearest whole number, so my nearest whole number would be 503 centimeters cubed. Find the surface area with circumference. So my circumference is 2r pi. You should always be looking for r. So I'm going to divide by 2 pi. And I'm going to make sure to put that in parentheses. So when you plug it into your calculator, if you do not plug that in, or put parentheses around that, you're not going to get the correct r. So r would be equal to 2.07. But I'm actually asking for the surface area. Surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r. We figured out r squared. So 4 times pi, not e, pi times 2.07 squared, 53.8. Find the volume, cubic unit. Volume is equal to 4/3 pi radius cubed. So it would be 4/3 pi. My radius here is 9 cubed. So what I'm going to type in my calculator right now is 9. And then this, remember, is the number you push when you want to have something cubed. So there's the third power. Depending on the calculator, you might have to arrow over, times pi. And then I'm going to go times 4, divide by 3. And that will give me my answer, which is 3,054. The volume of a sphere is 1928 pi. Volume is equal to 4/3 pi radius cubed. It's asking for the surface area. So I have to first figure what r is. One thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to divide by pi on both sides. The reason I'm going to divide by pi is because those two cancel. So 1,928 is equal to 4/3 pi. So what I'm going to type in my calculator, you can divide by 4/3. Or you could do 1,928 times 3 and then divide by 4. That's the same thing. Or if you put this in your calculator, make sure to just put 4/3 in parentheses like this. That was supposed to be r cubed. So this is equal to 1,446 is equal to r cubed. You have to take the cubic root. Cubic root. You have to know how to type that into your calculator. I will not be telling you how to type that into your calculator. So if you don't know, make sure you ask me right at the beginning of the class. So r is equal to 11.31. Now I'm actually looking at my surface area. Surface area is 4 pi r squared. So 4, that's a pi. My r is 11.31 squared. So 11.31 squared times 4 times pi. Round to the nearest tenth is 1,607.4 meters squared. So I just did all the work for you there. I forgot to push record, but I'm not going to redo it. Comparing all three sides, they have to be the similar lengths. And then when I look at here, no, they're not going to be similar. There you have it. Next one. Medium-sized box. This is volume. Volume right here. It's 3 times, so my perimeter ratio, oops, that's a P, is 1/3. I had to figure out my volume ratio. I have to cube it. And there's 55 in the smaller. How many would be in the larger? Cross multiply 1,485 in that box. Oh, I would love a box of crayons with 1,485 crayons. 2 volumes. Perimeter ratio. Area ratio. Volume ratio. Keep yourself nice and organized. 2 volumes, 729 over 125. That actually can't be simplified, so I'm going to take my cubic root. You have to work backwards before you can work forwards. So cubic root of both. The cubic root of that would be 9 over 25. So the square root, because if I want to move to area, area is squared, would be 81 over, sorry, this was just 5. Cubic root of 125 is just 5, so this is actually 25. Sorry about that. So my area ratio, and it says my area of my larger, so it should be across from my larger. What's the area of my smaller? And then my calculator, I'm doing 25 times 324, divide by 81. I get 100 meters, ooh, that M, squared. Bing, bada, boom. Have a great day. Can't wait to grade your test and you to get an A. It's going to be my favorite part of my day. Have a good one.